time signature is the one concept that I find most students do not understand, and I was in that same boat. What you need is a quick and simple analogy to understand this, because if you don't fully understand the rhythms, you're not going to fully understand the time signature. So if rhythm is something that you're also confused about, I suggest checking out my videos. Just go to my playlists and check out the rhythm video that I have up there that will explain everything you need to know about that. Now let's move on to our analogy. So the analogy that we're going to use for this is as if we are taking a trip on an airplane to our destination of choice. And if you've ever ridden an airplane before, you'll know that you can take a suitcase. Sometimes you could take more than one, depending on your airline, or you could pay to take even more than that. And also, if you've been on an airplane, you know that in your suitcase, it can only weigh a certain amount, which limits the amount of items that you can take. So when we talk about time signature, everyone knows what the top number means and what the bottom number means. That's very easily Googleable. What we're first going to talk about right now is what the bottom number means. The bottom number is what gets the beat. Okay, so let's use this in our analogy now. Our bottom number is what type of trip am I taking? Okay, and we're measuring this with our suitcases. So our suitcases in music are the measures, and the type of trip is what is getting the beat. So for example, the bottom number for maybe my first two suitcases will be a trip to Alaska. So I will need to bring a coat and some boots. And I won't be able to fit as many coats and boots in my suitcases if those are what gets the beat, because they are bulkier items. So maybe for my second trip, I'm going to a tropical location. So for this trip, I'm going to take some flip-flops. Let me grab my flip-flop here. And because it's smaller, I'll be able to fit more things. So I can put in, my bathing suit. I could put in some sunglasses. I can put in some lotion. Maybe I can bring 2 more sunglasses here for my last one. And then, I just want to have a bunch of shoes in here. Okay, so now let's bring it back to our actual time signature over here. We've got 2 measures here where we have the bar lines here. So this little rectangle that you kind of see this making, 1, 2, those are the measures. The bar lines separate it. And we've been talking about what gets the beat, so the bottom number. Remember, for our bottom number for our trip, it's the type of trip that we're taking. So we're going on a wintry trip. So for this one right here, our time signature, the way you would say it, you just read the numbers. So you would say 2, 4. Our bottom number is 4. So when the bottom number is 4, that means what is getting the beat is the quarter note. So that is the type of trip we're taking. We're taking a trip with quarter notes, and everything else has to fit within that. So just memorize that. Just 4 will always equal quarter note. So if I were to take some rhythms, we're using, our options are either 2 1-beat rhythms. Here's our beats here. 1, 2, 1, 2, because we can see here it says for the top number, how many beats per measure. So we've got 2 beats per measure here. Remember, I'm going on a wintry trip, so it's bulkier items. I can't fit as many things per measure. So I'm going to take, let's put a quarter note up here. Let's do some 1/8 notes. All right, if you refer to my beat video, my rhythm video, you'll see that these are both 1-beat rhythms. They both equal 1 beat, so this should make sense. And let's see, for our second measure, again, we're going to take another 1-beat rhythm and another 1-beat rhythm. I could have put a half note because it is would equal 2 beats, and that will still fit here. All right, just because it says 4 at the bottom doesn't mean we only have to use 1 beat rhythms, but we're using the quarter note to measure that. So, and it has to be within the 2 beats that we have. So if you were to count this, if you were to see this exercise right here, what you'd want to do is you want to count the top number. So take a look at the top number here. What are you counting to? 2. So if you were to practice this, you would start out and you would say 1, 2, here I go. You don't have to add the here I go, but just you're counting to 2 pretty much. So I'm going to use some Kadai rhythms here to speak this. So the way to do this would be 1, 2, here I go, ta, ti, ti, rest, ti, tika. So now I changed the time signature a bit. All I did was I changed the top numbers. Now it says 4, 4 instead of 2, 4. So our bottom number is still the same. We're still going on a trip to Alaska. It's still a wintry trip. But now the top number, how many beats per measure, has changed. It's moved up to 4 instead of 2. So that means that this trip that I'm taking, my suitcase, the weight limit is more. I can fit more things in it now. I can fit 4 things instead of 2 things. So now I can take boots, a coat, lotion, and some sunglasses. So in our 4-4 measure right here, notice that we only have 1 measure instead of 2. We don't have a bar line separating here because we're using 4 beats in each measure now. So let's this time let's use a quarter note. All right, these can be like our sunglasses. Let's use some 1/8 notes, kind of like our lotion. And then let's use a half note. This is kind of like a big bulky coat that we can fit in here. So now that we see that the top number is 4, what are we going to count to? 4. So you're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you could start saying the rhythm. So the way to say this rhythm would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ti, ti, 2. Okay, so for one last example, we've changed it up completely with our time signature. We went from 4-4 to 6-8, and our bottom number has changed. So remember, our bottom number is what is getting the beat. And if we're going back to our analogy, this means that our trip has changed. So now our trip is going to be a tropical location. Everything is based off of this tropical location that we're taking. And the top number has also changed. We can fit 6 things in to our suitcase. So for example, my suitcase over here has got 2 bathing suits, some flip-flops, some shampoo and conditioner, and a flip-flop, or not a flip-flop, but sunglasses. So looking at these music notes that we have here, I have already put them in just to show you what this would look like. So we've got 6 heartbeats here representing the beats, that we have only got 1 measure. And these 1/8 notes that you see right here are what is getting the beat, because 8, whenever you see 8 at the bottom, it will always equal an 1/8 note. So that's what an 1/8 note is. Just memorize that. That is our standard of measurement. So that doesn't mean we can't put a whole note in. We just have to make sure we're counting it right when we do that. So since an 1/8 note gets the beat, so you can see here 1, 2, 3. Quarter notes now take up 2 beats. So it's kind of like 4-4 if you had a half note. It's now taking up 2, and we put another 1/8 note here as well. So another thing I'll point out is that sometimes you'll see that when you see 3 T's like this, or 1/8 notes, sometimes they'll group them up kind of like this, but they'll add like a third one too. So it'll be like connected up top with 3 of them. Some directors will have you say triplet when you see this. There's all sorts of methods, so use whatever method works best for you. For simplicity right now, I'm just going to say T and I'm going to say ta here. But remember, it's just important in the way that you count it. So remember, what are we counting to? We're counting to 6 because that's the top number. So it's going to feel like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I were to speak this rhythm, here's how I would speak it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. T, 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 ta, T. I hope this helps clarify how to read a time signature and how to count it so that you can actually practice this. Now, is this all the time signatures in the world that I've taught you? No, but this gives you the good basics. 2-4, 4-4, 6-8 is something that you'll see a lot. You'll see 3-4 a lot as well, and then others aren't as common. Actually, 12-8 is something that you might see a lot. There's actually kind of a lot of songs with 12-8. So use the same rules that we've applied here. How many beats per measure and what gets the beat. Use that analogy if you keep getting confused. And if you found this helpful, please let me know in the comments. And go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe if you're interested in keeping up with this content.